Wow. Well, this is huge for me. I do this a lot, but I've never been in an audience so big. But my name is Jenenne Whitfield, and I am the executive director of the Heidelberg Project in Detroit, and I'm very happy to be here with you today. And before I move, I'm so glad I got a clock. Before I move, I want to do a couple things. I first want to acknowledge my warriors in Detroit who have this on by satellite at the College for Creative Studies and Wayne State University. Right? Yes. Secondly, I want to acknowledge my staff who came here from Detroit to be with us today and to give us some support, and I want you guys to stand up real quick and be acknowledged. Thank you. That's some Detroit love for you. Thank you so much. The person who got me into all this trouble in the first place and changed the course of my life, his name is Tyree Guyton, and he's who you really wanted initially, and he couldn't be here, but then he changed his mind, and he's here, and I don't know where, but I want you to be acknowledged. Please, Tyree Guyton, wherever you are, stand up. I don't know where he is. That's okay. The other thing I want to say is that Detroit is alive and very well, and let me be very clear. Detroit is in a state of reorganization. It is a microcosm for the rest of the world. Pay close attention. We're doing some phenomenal things. And it is darkest before the dawn, okay? So I like to start out with this quote. I love this quote. You probably read it, so I'm not going to read it for you. But it is indicative of what our work is all about. It is how one man, the power of the human spirit has in fact, or is in fact, changing his community. So who did start with? This young man, Tyree Guyton, and his grandfather, who gave him a paintbrush at the age of 9. And he said it was like his hand was on fire. And he knew from that point that he wanted to be an artist. This is what we were up against in the particular community where the Heidelberg Project exists. I mean, these statistics have not really changed. 48207 is recognized nationally as one of the most economically depressed zip codes in the country. So you see what we're up against. Now, I want to say something about that. The Community Foundation for Southeastern Michigan conducted their own study in 2007 on this particular area. And what they concluded is that the community was so horribly ravaged that it would take a bold revitalization response to make a difference. You can see this is what we're looking at every day. This is what the community had become. And yet it was a vibrant, rich African-American community. This was the place that African-American people could live, was the only place that they could live when they were migrating from the South looking for jobs in the automobile industry. So it's rich in culture. You know, Helen Thomas, White House correspondent, lived on Heidelberg Street. One of the structures within our area was owned by Wilson Pickett. So you have all that rich history that is contained in this community. Okay, so boy meets girl, right? Now here's the thing. I'm from the west side of Detroit, Tyree's from the east side. We're completely opposites. He's got a paintbrush like a banshee running around painting up everything, and I've got a Franklin planner. Okay? So I'm going to leave that to your imagination about how this relationship began to unfold over the next 20 years. I met Tyree in 1993, and he changed my life. And I gave up corporate America and all that other stuff to come and do, I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it out. So as an organization, we're just like everybody else. Listen, this man founded this thing. We tried to organize it so that we could get funding to continue our work, so we have a vision and a mission. This is all part of who we are. We've been incorporated as a nonprofit since 1986. What we do, we energize, we engage, we're in the schools, we're on the street, we've got programs, you know, we have service-based and all of this, we have community activities. But that's not really what our work is about. And this is the interesting thing to me about creative placemaking, or whatever it is that they're calling it right now. We've been doing this work for 27 years. And the concept of what it is that we're doing really doesn't have so much to do with things as much as it has to do with recycling or reclaiming the human spirit. So in essence, the Heidelbergology concept is the study of artistic materials, i.e. found objects, incorporated into the fabric and structure of an urban community, and then the effects on that community. And the concept gives birth to these three principles. Now, what we're talking about is how our work has informed us. This thing that's called Heidelberg has really been a kind of a monster all of its own, and what Tyree Guyton and I and our staff and our board has tried to do is kind of manage the process. But this is what it's teaching us: abstract advocacy, art as a medicine and art as a catalyst for change. Abstract advocacy is very briefly defined as the introduction of new information that in the short term changes attitudes and in the long term changes behavior. And how we're doing that. This kid, this beautiful little kid who grew up with the Heidelberg Project, remember, we're 27 years old. He grew up with the project, comes from a rough background. You saw the statistics, you can guess. This kid had been mentored by us his whole life. Today, Justin is 20, a sophomore at Central Michigan University. He's studying biochemistry. I mean, how do you get that out of art? But see, this is what we're talking about. This is how our work has informed us. This is what our work is all about. And also, art as a medicine. Tyree Guyton has said since 1995 that his art was a medicine for the community. The concept behind a medicine in the community is that initially it's a bitter pill to swallow. But when it gets in the bloodstream, it makes a difference, and it starts to transform and change. This man, when he can stay out of jail, comes to Heidelberg Street. And we put him to work, and he paints and he does things. It's not a quick fix, but it's a start, and it's a form of crime prevention. And we're integrating, hence the polka dots. We're dispelling the fear. Come on into Detroit. We're creating common ground. And art as a catalyst for change, and what it has done in addition to all the things it's doing, it has made an economic impact. Performed by the Williams College, we contribute $3.4 million to the Wayne County region and $2.7 million to the Detroit area. So not only are we making money for our city and changing lives, our work is making a difference. It's exploratory in nature, deserves funding in the urban community, and I thank you for your time.